Spongebob Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottom is quite possibly my all-time favorite childhood game. In an era when we were flooded with subpar licensed games from kids' TV shows and movies, Battle for Bikini Bottom stood above the crowd as one of the best platformers on the GameCube, full stop. By present times, we've had a lot more luck with licensed games. We've got certifiable masterpieces like 2018 Spider-Man, the Arkham series, or Telltale's The Walking Dead. In 2020, Purple Lamp Game Studios took up the mantle and released a remake, Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, to great success. While I do love the remake, it always struck me as unnecessary. I feel the original holds up great even today. So what I was really hoping for was a sequel, and by Neptune we have it. The Cosmic Shake is very noticeably a sequel to Battle for Bikini Bottom, but it doesn't take the high parts and evolve the way that I would have wanted it to. I've very much enjoyed the game, but the second half of it is for the most part where the best levels are, while the first few levels are stuck being tutorials with slow progression and overlong bloating. Still, some very imaginative environments, actually challenging platforming, and a few good jokes here and there keep the experience fresh. SpongeBob and Patrick begin the game encountering Cassandra, a charlatan mystic who sells them what she believes is essentially snake oil as a magic bubble formula. SpongeBob soon finds out that it actually does grant wishes, and predictably goes off the rails trying to grant the wishes of everyone in Bikini Bottom. Eventually, the universe rips, and various characters and parts of the city are sent to other dimensions, while Patrick is transformed into a cute little balloon version of himself. Balloon Patrick serves as SpongeBob's companion, and he ventures forth to clear the cosmic monsters and dimensional jelly from Bikini Bottom and 7 other large linear worlds, rescuing a different character from the show in each one. The biggest downgrade from Battle for Bikini Bottom is certainly the level variety. While the first game had 12 semi-open levels, each one of them was short and sweet. The Cosmic Shake contains 8 much longer and more linear levels. So instead of specific quests inside the level to earn golden spatulas, the goal in the Cosmic Shake is simply to make it to the end of the level and beat the boss. The Cosmic Shake opts to make its levels completely linear, with one combat or platforming challenge after another, and it leaves little room for exploration of any kind. The structure is probably the weakest part of the game, and the wonderful environments would have been better served as semi-open zones. While the first game back in 2004 was heavily reminiscent of Super Mario 64's structure, the Cosmic Shake structurally feels a lot more like Crash Bandicoot. Combat is solid, with this newest entry giving SpongeBob a lot more in his kit. Although it removes his upwards helmet attack and the fan-favorite cruise bubble, the new kit includes a karate kick that acts as a homing attack, a grappling hook, a bubble wand that traps enemies, a ground pound, and a few other tricks. Unfortunately, you can't play as Patrick and Sandy in this game, but their abilities have been made part of SpongeBob's kit, but it's really not the same. There is a solid enemy variety once you get past the first 2 levels, which feel like very long tutorials. Most of them are similar to enemy types from Battle for Bikini Bottom, but certainly not just reskins. Combat sections are both broken off into waves in the same arena, and also sprinkled around the levels. I like having enemies in games like this just hanging out around the level rather than concentrated into hordes, but overall there is enough variety in SpongeBob's kit and in the enemies in the second half of the game so that the combat never gets tedious. The same kinds of small challenges that granted golden spatulas in Battle for Bikini Bottom are still present, but they don't give you any reward except to just keep moving through the level. I think the absence of a large collectible like that hurts the Cosmic Shake notably. Luckily, there are rare collectibles that are golden doubloons in each level, and those are used to unlock new costumes for SpongeBob. But they are more the result of just looking in hidden places than actually completing challenges. I've alluded a few times now to the fact that the second half of the game is a lot better than the first half, and it very much is. The first 3 levels specifically feel like a 2-hour gigantic tutorial, with SpongeBob getting new abilities every so often, a lot of tutorial pop-ups, and honestly the least exciting levels. There is some legitimately genius environmental artwork in the Cosmic Shake, but it's all in the second half of the game. I encourage players to just not get discouraged. While the first half of the game is fine, the second is extremely good, and I did still have fun with the first half. Halloween Rock Bottom and the Medieval Sulphur Fields are definitely the best 2 levels, and Glove World was a great little ode to the haunted carnival theme. The boss fights were, for the most part, excellent, with each of them focusing much more on platforming than direct combat. It's a small pet peeve of mine when a boss fight in a platformer suddenly is all about fighting, when the rest of the game hasn't been. A boss fight is a test of the abilities and skills you've acquired in that area, a summary of what you, the player, have learned. The boss fights in the Cosmic Shake are a perfect test of that level's mechanics as well as all mechanics in your kit, while keeping the focus on platforming rather than smashing a button to do damage. The sole exception to this is the final boss battle, which is predictably Cassandra, which was possibly the most anticlimactic final boss I can call to mind right now. It was so easy I only took damage once, and it didn't even have a second stage. Honestly, it soured the ending for me a good bit. Overall, if you're looking for a solid 3D platformer with next-gen graphics and great performance, you found it. The humor is similar to the humor found in the show in the last few years, which is to say not nearly as good as the first few seasons of the show, but there are some legitimately great jokes here and there. It's always nice to see SpongeBob and Patrick on another adventure, and I really had a blast with all this positive energy. While it didn't recapture the magic of its predecessor, I still think the $40 price tag is right, and if you've been looking forward to it, I heartily recommend. 7 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching, really appreciate it. If you want to have more reviews like this, definitely subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment below what you think about this game, or you're excited to get it. Maybe you're not excited to get it after seeing this, I don't know, but let us know below. Hope to see you again.